Hey, thanks for checking out this video. I'm Tom from D20 Play, and I've been playing recently over the last couple of years, a lot of new games. A couple of those games are Draw, Steal, and Daggerheart, and these games use metacurrencies. And I wanted to have a way to track these in a way that the players could see, in a way I can move them up and down easily. I mean, Roll20, I got a pro subscription, so I'm using the API. You can do some of this without the API, not all of it. And I just want to share with you how I have it set up. So here we are in Roll20. I have these tokens that I've created here, and each of these tokens represents a character. If I double click on the montage token, for example, here, I have this montage character. It has a couple of attributes, failures and successes, that I have going from 0 to 5, and they're displayed such that everyone can see the bars and the numbers on the bars for both of these bars. They're set up like that. And if I look at the character, I can see it's got the two attributes, failures and successes. And then I set up a little macro button here using these macros. And if I come down here to the ones that's end with S, you can see the ones I've turned on right now. And if I want to look at a montage and then increasing successes, here I have S plus and S minus. Let's open that up. Here is what I'm doing. I got the character attribute. Let's look at all the macros I have here real quick. So I'm using power cards to make a lot of the chat look formatted. And I'll show you that in a second. Chat set attribute, so I can change these character attributes on the fly. And then add custom turn, so I can add turns to the tracker and modify the turn values in the tracker with a push of a button. So those three, I have a couple others here, but power cards, chat set attribute, add custom turn. So here is what the syntax looks like on one of these macro buttons on the bottom of the screen. So I'm setting the mod attribute. I'm silently changing montage characters attribute called success, increasing it by 1. And I show it on the screen here. Emote as success, increase, and now, then list what it is. Then I'm going to go into the turn tracker. I'm going to delete. If there is a success there, I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to add what the current success is to the turn tracker. That's what it's doing. And I have the same thing for all these different buttons for successes, Malice, hero tokens, successes, failures, interest, and patience. And then you do the exact same thing with fear, plus or minus fear, in Daggerheart. So let's test what this macro looks like. I'll save that. And let's look at Malice. So if I click the Malice button plus, Malice will change from 0 to 1 over the turn order. And you can just not even have it there and it'll automatically add it. So I could start with nothing showing and say I come to the first round of combat in Draw Steal with 5 characters with 0 victories. Okay, I have no Malice for 0 victories. I got 1 Malice for the first round of combat. You can see, I click it, it adds it to this token here. It adds it to the turn order, and it shows it in the chat. Malice builds now 1. And then I have 5 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing you could do with fear, but here I have the tracker showing somewhere on the battlefield. I can have this just post anywhere I want. I can change its size so it's bigger or smaller. Now the problem with that is if they're zoomed into their character, they're not going to see that token there, but what they can always see is the turn order. So they'll look over the turn order, see Malice is up to 6, or fear is up to 6, and they can also see it here in the chat. So there's Malice going up and down. Hero tokens would be the number of heroes in the party. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I see hero points. I need to update that to say hero tokens. Hero tokens, let's look at how I would do that real quick. So if I shift click that, here I have mod attributes, change in Malice. I called it heroics in the character. Hero tokens increase, so that's all right over there. And then instead of calling it hero points, I'll call it hero tokens here. So hero tokens will be deleted and hero tokens will be added. So we test that. Now that that's shown up, I get rid of the old name manually there and save that. And I would do the same thing with minus. Hero points goes to hero tokens and hero points goes to hero tokens. I will have all of this, all this shorthand syntax here and these macros up on the D20 Play Discord. And there's a link to that in the channel description for this D20 Play YouTube channel. Jump on there. We have lots of discussion. We have a discussion where we discuss Draw Steal. I'll put this this other syntax here in the Draw Steal Discord, and you can just grab it, use it if you like it. So there I have Malice going up and down, hero tokens going up and down. they have skill montages in Draw Steel, and I have all the rules kind of shorthanded here for a quick reference, so I can get them with a click of a button. So if we're playing a game and trying to remember how does a montage work, I have it shorthanded right there for us. And then I have where you can take successes. Now you note that those aren't shown here. Whenever you're not using them, there's no need to show them, but as you're having the montage, you can up your successes, up your failures, and it'll track it there, it'll track it here, and it'll track it over in the description. And then when you're done with your montage, you can just click that off, click that off. Now it won't show up in the turn tracker. If you want, you can manually change the numbers here. If you manually change the numbers here, though, it doesn't update over on the chat or in the turn order. But that's how you can do it if you're doing it without the API. If I just want to manually track, I can always, just add manually hero tokens, and that'll be there. And I can just manually update it. That's where I would do it rather than doing it on any kind of a token, so that or any kind of a token like that, so I can have it, in front of the players all the time in real time. So that is the montage. And then negotiation in Draw Steel, it is real extensive. There's a lot of rules for negotiation. It really boils down, though, to one thing. You want to increase the interest of the party you're trying to negotiate with in order to make a deal with you before they've lost all patience in the negotiation. So interest will start somewhere low, and it might start out, say, at 1. And patience hopefully will start out somewhere high. If they're trusting, it could be very high. If they're neutral, it might be only a 3, right? So let's go 1, 2, 3. There's my patience at 3, and then I start the negotiation. We go through, make the checks, increase and decrease patience and interest. They can see how it's happening. Okay, so I got their interest up 1, but they lost 1 patience. Now I got interest up again, they lost another patience. And then, oh no, they lost their last patience. And 3 is the final number. And I know a 3 in a negotiation is, yes, they will help, but you have to do something for them. So there you go. And when I'm done with the negotiation, I can just click that off and click that off. No need to track those while I'm not actually in the negotiation. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The syntax for these are all basically the same format, just different names of the different characters, different attributes, and then updating that in each of these little macro buttons. Again, I'll have that in the D20 Play Discord, in the Draw Steel discussion channel, game discussions. Cancel that. So how do I do all these little quick reference things? Very similar. Let's look at a slightly simple one. Let's look at the turn order. Okay, I guess it's not that simple, since I have all the things you can do with the different actions and maneuvers and moves and stuff like that. But if I just click on it here, at the top, it's a power card. So I'm using that power cards API. So it starts exclamation point power. And then there's some formatting they have in the power cards API for all the different things that appear here, but it makes it look real nice and organized. So check that out. Again, D20 Play Discord. I hope you're having fun with these games. And I hope that you can, come up with a way like this to make tracking those metacurrencies just seamless, visible to players. If you want them to be visible, I can definitely turn off both of the functions where I can turn everything off and have it only be visible to me. I can change it that way as well. One little thing in the add custom turn, this is available as one of the default mods for Roll20, one of the default APIs. Now, this one was sending a chat to the chat log that I didn't want. It's under here, output event. And this is not the original format, but I just replaced every instance of what it would do. I'm very bad at coding. So I just kind of tried to parse out what it was doing and just replaced it with some random thing where it's redoing something it did before, just resetting a constant 3 different times to the same constant. So actually doesn't do anything, but it made it so it didn't print to the screen what I didn't want printed to the screen, which was saying that like a thing had been deleted. So I didn't want to do that. Okay, that's it. If you have questions, leave them in the chat below, and go to the D20 Play Discord, grab all those macro buttons, and you can set it up yourself. Hope you have fun. Thanks for watching.